Hello, everybody. Another interview with Age with Care, and in this case, Jacquie Doucette. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. As you know, I always start with my favorite question, Jacquie. What are your ideas about aging healthily?
Well, hi, Hanny. I think for me, aging healthily generally means just taking care of yourself, paying attention to the things that you're doing, looking after your body the way that it tells you it needs. I think most people probably need more fresh foods, more water, things like that. Nobody drinks enough water these days. And it's important to keep your body moving. So aging healthily for me is getting up, getting out, walking, doing that sort of thing, just staying active and staying alive.
Yes, staying alive is important. Yeah, and well, you're still working full time, as far as I understood. So, do you have enough time to exercise and to move around?
Yeah, I think I do. Sleeping is far overrated. All that time between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning, lots of time to do things.
Oh, wow!
No, I'm kidding. I get up. Relatively early. I wake up probably around 5, but I don't get up until just before 6. And I take my dog for a walk in the morning before I get ready for work. And then I try to get up and move around at the office because I'm actually sitting at a desk in front of a computer all day long. So I get up and wander around. I fill up my water bottle, go and I chat with people just to, change things up a little bit and keep moving around.
Yeah, yeah. And having a pet is always handy if you because you have to walk then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gets very upset if I don't take her for a walk. She comes and stands and looks at me.
Yeah, that's great. I just mentioned your name and nothing more, but you have a podcast and well, you have all kinds of other things you can tell us about yourself, I guess. So could you introduce yourself now?
Oh, sure. As you said, I'm Jacquie Doucette. I'm working slowly towards retirement, and I do have a podcast. My podcast is called Beyond Retirement, and my idea behind that is that people don't necessarily want to retire anymore because of a number of things. They might decide that maybe they can't afford to retire, so that they're going to keep working past the traditional retirement age. But some people just know that there's more to life than retirement. They don't want to sit on the sofa afterwards. There's a big world out there. So my podcast is going past retirement. It's what happens to people, what you can do with your life afterwards. So I'm bringing in lots of different people talking about the things that they're doing with their lives, the way they're making another living, the way they're starting something brand new, giving back to their community, giving back to others, just moving on past it. And in that idea, you can start that life beyond retirement at any age. It just means, moving past the day-to-day world.
Yeah, yeah. You are living in Canada. Does it mean that your focus is mainly on Canada, or do you look at how it goes on other continents or in other countries?
I do. I've had guests on my podcast from all over the world, and what I'm obviously my experience is just in Canada and what's available to me. But my idea is that there's a whole world out there, and part of my focus is getting to travel the world, see what's out there, see what kind of places there are, where you can go that you might like more than where you are. where you can go that you might be able to make a difference if for some reason you can't make a difference where you are. Maybe there's another spot that you can go where you can settle in and help somebody there.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. You want to travel. Do you have any idea in what way do you want to travel? Because some people go in a camper, other people go with a car, people go by plane or by boat. Do you have any plans concerning that?
I do. For me, I love to travel by plane because it takes the least amount of time to get wherever it is you're going. And all my life, I've been kind of a get a result sort of person. So I want to, when I decide I'm going to do something, I want to get to the end and make it happen. I don't kind of dilly dally along the way. But I'm learning that. I'm learning to slow down and smell the roses along the way. What I see is that people can travel in whatever way they want. They can take their camper and zoom around the continent that they're on. That's a wonderful way to travel. If you want to see another place, another continent, I think definitely you're either going to take a boat or take a plane. But once you get there, it's more rewarding, I think, to travel more slowly, and that's one of the things that I'm starting to build a little plan around is the idea that you can travel however you want to travel and see the world at the speed you want to see it.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely right if you say that by slowing down, you experience where you are more, especially when the culture is different from what you're used to. So you're definitely right about that. Are these also the topics of your podcast, or do you have more topics?
Well, I've got right now my podcast is split in 2 seasons because I started it off sort of as a rambling of my own, the ideas and thoughts that I have as I prepare for my retirement, which is I'm hoping going to be a traveling retirement. And then I started a second season that's more involved with other people and what they're doing. So I do a little bit of both. I talk to people about where they're going and what kind of things they're doing and how they're making an impact on the world. And I talk about my ideas on where you can go and how you can slow down and pay attention to what's happening as well.
And is it also the more practical things, like where do you stay? How do you involve with the people that are in that place?
Yes, there's as I go along, that's going to be a lot more of the so-called season 1 part where I'm doing my own little ramblings, and I'll be talking about how to prepare for the traveling, where you can stay while you're going, how to make the plans and what kind of places to look for, what you can do when you're there, how to get involved in your community, in the community you're in, that sort of thing.
Oh, sounds really interesting.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. I only heard a few of your podcasts, so that's why I ask, because I can't have a meaning yet about it, hearing just a few episodes. So,
Yeah.
But I definitely plan to listen to more of them. How long will it last before you are going to retire?
Well, it looks like it's probably 2 years. I've told my boss that I've set a date, so I'm aiming at that date.
Okay. Well, that's pretty soon, isn't it?
It is. I think it'll go fast.
Yeah, I can assure you it will go fast. I can tell from my own experience. But I was wondering, because I myself am not used to listen to podcasts. I always thought it was something that is more, for younger people. Is that a wrong idea, or is it true that most young people listen to it?
Well, I think there are definitely a lot of young people listening to podcasts. my particular podcast, I don't think too many young people are listening to. My daughter said she really likes it, even though it doesn't pertain to her. Those were her words. Isn't really relevant to me, but it's a good podcast. But I think there are podcasts for everybody. There are so many different topics and so many different people doing it now. I think podcasting is really taking off as a medium.
Okay. So I shouldn't only listen to you, but also listen to other people then.
Definitely listen to other people.
Okay, well, I will. Do you have a specific tip for people that really want to retire but have no idea whether they can make that, or is that a too difficult question to ask?
Well, I guess if they're worried about whether they can do it in terms of finances, I'm not going to be able to give you too much insight into that, other than a couple. Actually, one of my episodes of my podcast talked about it a little bit, how to figure out whether you're prepared or not, because you've got to list out all the things that you're going to be spending money on, regardless of what you're doing, and how much money you're going to have coming in. And you've got to make sure that you've got more coming in than you have going out, or it's not time to retire yet.
Yeah.
But
sometimes it's amazing how different the outcome of such a list will be, concerning for what you thought on forehand that it would be, isn't it?
It is. It's very different. And sometimes people are shocked at how much they're spending on things that they didn't realize they were spending, things that they can easily cut out, which is very important to do before you decide to retire.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good tip. Make a list of all your incomes and how do you say that in English? Spending.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you have thoughts about the next saying. Some people say that you should retire as early as possible. I think you posted an article in your group about it. But other people say, no, you shouldn't retire. You should postpone it as long as you can, because once you're retired, you're, well, as good as that, to make it really negative. But those are the two,
extremes.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about that?
Personally, I think that people should retire as early as they can, because there's so much more out there to do. The earlier that you can get started living your life, the better off you're going to be. Pushing it off, you're never guaranteed anything in life, I don't think, except that at some point you're going to find you're at the end of it. And I think that it's really important to make the most of every single day. So if you have the opportunity to retire and move on to the next part of your life, I say go for it.
Okay. Isn't that a little bit from the end of I don't like my work very much, I just work to be able to pay for things, or has it a different meaning? Because I'm not sure.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Yeah, well, what my opinion almost all my life has been, that I didn't want to retire because I liked my work too much. Except for my first step in my career when I was a teacher, because I didn't like that. But I changed careers just to be able to do the thing that I love. So in I'm a bit contrarian to your opinion concerning retire as soon as you can, because I think you should retire the last moment that you can. But it's I think where the ideas come from is an interesting topic, I don't know if I make myself clear now.
Yes. I think I understand what you're saying is if someone is really enjoying their work, why would they retire?
Yeah.
And I agree completely. I hold dearly to the idea that if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're not really working. You're enjoying your life already. And to me, that's what being retired is going to mean. It's going to mean being able to enjoy my life and do what I want to do when I want to do it. So if you're working and you're enjoying every minute of it, there's no reason to retire. There's no reason to walk away from that if you're enjoying it. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are doing what you were saying. They're working because they get paid and they need to get paid to do the things they want to do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess you can't say that you hate your job because you're doing it for a long time, aren't you?
I have been, yes. I enjoy my job very much. I've been doing it long enough, I think.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that. But what is it that you do?
I'm an administrative pharmacist now. I'm a pharmacist for the Canadian military.
Okay, that's the thing that I didn't understand because you were talking about military. So I was wondering how you said pharmacist, how that connected. But
well,
it's
the military has pharmacists,
okay.
and I used to be in uniform, and I was a pharmacist for them, and then I retired from that and came back as a civilian to do the job as well.
I didn't know that was possible. It's an area I know nothing about. So you are developing a plan to still earn your money once you're retired while traveling, aren't you? So
I am.
How can people get more information about those plans, about what they could do?
Well, there's a couple of ways. They can check out my my website, or they can join my Facebook group. My website gives them a couple of options. They can take a look at the different plans that I've got, or they can join one of my groups.
Yeah, I have two websites of you. I have this one, beyondretirement.ca, and I have this one.
Right.
What's the difference between them?
The beyondretirement.ca is my main website, and it has a link to this one, and it has a link to my podcast as well. And it's kind of just the basic site where you can send me a message and ask me questions. You can listen to all the podcasts; they're all listed there as well. And you can link to the travel plan.
Yeah. So this is the main one. Well, I'll put all the links in the description box after our interview is over, because it's easier, of course, for people to just be able to click a link. But then I know how the best order is. And you also have a free travel plan, and that's then on this website.
It's from that website you can see the program, the travel plan program that I've got. You can get the first 3 modules for free just to take a look at it and see what's available, and you'll get a taste for what I'm offering.
Yeah, well, that sounds interesting as well. Yeah, and I think we have covered where people can reach you. The main thing is, of course, your podcast. But I am glad that you are also on Facebook, because I am more a Facebook person. So I'll list everything in the description box, like I said. So that'll be perfect, I guess. So. Jacquie, thank you so much for your information, and I can assure all the listeners that the information that Jacquie gives in her group and on her website is it's very readable, very nice to have a look at whether you have plans to retire or not. So well, I can recommend looking at it. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed being here.
Very good. Bye.
Bye-bye.